Hi, my name is Gio, and I'm the senior editor of footballbook.pro. This is my vlog. These are some of my thoughts for what happened after Week 5 and what might happen in Week 6. Now, after last week's San Diego-Oakland game, where the Chargers were 6-point favorites on the road and lost outright, that brings the straight-up total for divisional games to 16-10 for the underdog. Now, there have been 26 games between divisional foes, and of the 26 games, the Dogs actually won 16 times out of 25. And against the spread, they have a remarkable record of 21-5 against the spread. Now, I mentioned that because this week there's going to be 3 more divisional games, and if you want to know who the underdogs are, the first game are the last year's champions, the New Orleans Saints, are 4-point favorites in Tampa Bay. Now, this is despite the fact that the Saints have really struggled recently. They've won 1 game out of the last 3, and that was a really close game in the last minute against Carolina, who are 0-5. Tampa Bay won last week and are looking good at 3-1. Tampa Bay are 4-point dogs, and you might want to consider taking Tampa Bay not only against the spread, but in a straight up bet as well, in a money line play. You see, the thing is with New Orleans, they are the champions, and public perception is hard to shake, and everyone still thinks that they're the same team that won the whole thing last year, beating the Indianapolis Colts in the Super Bowl. But a lot of things change in almost now 9 months, and the Saints just aren't the same. For you to win the Super Bowl, a lot of things have to go your way, and they really did last year for New Orleans, and nothing seems to be going their way this year. So you might want to consider Tampa Bay there. Another game, which is a divisional contest, is Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Now, Pittsburgh are big-time favorites. They're almost 2 touchdowns. I think right now, as it stands, it's 13.5 points as with Pittsburgh as the favorite. Now, if you're to continue with your betting the division dogs, you might want to consider Cleveland. I know Cleveland isn't very good, but they have played all of their games close, even though they've only won 1 of the games. You might want to compare this to that game against Baltimore, where the Ravens were favored by almost 2 touchdowns and really squeaked out a close one. Now, that was in Baltimore, and this one is in Pittsburgh. And the Steelers do get Ben Roethlisberger back, but he might have a little bit of rust. Now, the Browns are going to be going probably with Colt McCoy, a rookie who has never taken a snap. But if you think about what happened with Arizona last week, they went with undrafted quarterback Max Holland. They actually won the game. Now, I'm not going to say that Cleveland is going to win the game outright. The dog isn't winning every game in division games, but at 13.5 points, just for what I want you to do is consider taking all those points and backing the underdog. The third game will be the Monday nighter, where Tennessee, who's played really well, are playing Jacksonville, who have also played really well. Jacksonville have won their last 2 games, so has Tennessee, but Jacksonville have knocked off the Colts. Now, once again, the road team is the favorite here by 3 points, and that's not too big of a lot of points to give up. But consider Jacksonville when you look at all of the games so far that the dog has won in division games. I'm not saying they're going to win, but Jacksonville usually plays their division close, and this is a division game, and they get the points at home. Just consider it. A couple of games I want to talk about are San Diego at St. Louis. Now, the Chargers, like I said, lost last week against a division team. Now, they're not playing a division team this week. They're playing St. Louis. But the Chargers are 0-3 on the road, and yet they're favorite. And St. Louis are 2-0 at home, and they're dogs. It just doesn't seem to be quite right. I know that injuries are starting to hit St. Louis. They've lost their wide receiver Mark Clayton for the year, and that's going to hurt. But the spread is over a touchdown. Another thing why I'm mentioning this game is that this is one of 2 games where a team is traveling, and they're going to be playing at 11 o'clock in the morning, their time, local time. For what I'm trying to say is the Chargers will be playing this game at 1 o'clock Eastern time, but they're a West Coast team, and they're playing 2 hours difference. So for them, it's actually going to be like 11 o'clock. And the other game like that is the Seattle-Chicago game. Seattle is a West Coast team. They'll be playing 2 hours difference in Chicago, so for them it'll be like 11 o'clock. Also, Seattle are 0-2 on the road, and we all know how the Bears are 4-1. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're finding ways to win. Jay Cutler plans on playing, so I want you to give some consideration to that. Not saying that Chicago will only win because of the time factor, but Seattle is 0-2 on the road, so just give that some consideration. A couple of games we also are considering this week. Oakland, who won last week, are in San Francisco. Now, I know San Francisco has been probably the biggest disappointment. They're 0-5. They're going to win eventually, and you know that 0-5 in the terrible NFC West is still not out of it. If they win this game, they've got Carolina next week. They can actually be 2-5, and you know what? Stranger things have happened. They still could be in it. And then there's the Dallas-Minnesota game. The other two real big surprises are both 1-3. Both of them have look-ahead games next week as well. Dallas is going to be at home on Monday night against the Giants, and then the Vikings are going to be on the road at Green Bay. And these are important look-ahead games for them. Whoever wins this game still has a chance, but whoever loses this game probably is eliminated from the playoffs. These are just some of my thoughts so far. We're working on our final picks for our week 6 so far. We're 80% there. We're going to post another video maybe tomorrow or Saturday. But for now, this is Gio for footballbook.pro. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, drop me a line at gio@footballbook.pro, or please visit our website, www.footballbook.pro. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.